Hey YouTube, what's going on? I'm Chris.
I'm Carly.
This is CNC Reptiles.
And today's cleaning day.
But we're going to upgrade Cutie's tub.
Yay!
Let's go take a look. Alright guys, so let's take a look at this tub upgrade that we're going to do. So if you've been following the channel for any amount of time, you know that this is what our current tubs look like. The last video actually that we put out, we talked about the size of these tubs and the rack system that we have. So all of our tubs are 22, almost 22 and a half inches long. These particular tubs here are just shy of 7.5 inches wide, and they're all 4.25 inches tall. So we have obviously a fairly simple setup here, right? So we've got the ReptiChip substrate in here, helps keep that humidity. Obviously we've got this smaller water bowl, and we've got these hides that, man, the girls just really seem to love. So let's talk a little bit about what Cutie is going to. So this is what we're about to upgrade Cutie to. So as you can see, just by me trying to fit this here in the actual camera shot, much bigger tub. So the tub itself is actually twice the size of the tub that she's currently in. So this is almost 15 inches wide. I think it's technically 14.75 inches. So you can see obviously a lot more space here. Now it's still 22.5 inches deep. So you can see obviously in this tub, much larger hide compared to the one that she's currently in. So this is the one that she's currently in. You can see again quite a bit of difference there. This is the small hide. That one there I believe is the medium hide that Exoterra produces. Now, water dish, of course the water dish, quite a bit larger than the water dish that we currently have there. This water dish actually ought to be big enough for her to get into should she so choose. They don't do a lot of bowl soaking just yet. They do, as they're going into shed, kind of come through as they need to. And then this other stuff here, so we've got this little half log that's actually more ceramic, just like the hide is. And then found these, this is actually California grapevine, as just some extra clutter. So obviously this is all gonna be new to her and could certainly stress her out if she feels too exposed. So we know that she has the bigger hide that she should feel fairly comfortable in. This is not necessarily meant to be a hide, although she can probably long ways somewhat get under here. This is really more for just a little bit of extra, a little bit extra for her to actually kind of crawl around, crawl over, crawl under if she so chooses. Kind of the same thing with this grapevine here. Just something to rub up against when she's shedding. I think that that'll help. I noticed when she was shedding last that she was kind of using the ReptiChip. She would rub her head under her body against the ReptiChip to get it started. We'll talk about that shed there in just a second. But really just something for them to have extra in here. That's not so minimalistic. You know, there's a lot of people out there that keep snakes in tubs, and really the only thing they have in there is the snake and maybe a water bowl. And those people are very successful, and that's perfect for their animals. And we just want to do things just a little bit differently. And this is kind of the setup that we're going to at least initially start with. So what I've done is I've got everything set up. So let's talk a little bit about what we have here. So a couple of nights ago, saw that she was going into shed. In fact, if you saw our last feeding video, you saw her actually feed while she was deep in blue. Probably not the best one, but she did feed while she was deep in blue. And I'll actually put a link to that here so you can go back and see it. So a few days later, I believe it was Tuesday evening. Yeah, it was last night, as a matter of fact. She actually started to shed. And so we got this nice full shed from her. So we'll go ahead and show it to you now. But what I thought was, what a perfect time, since it was time to go ahead and clean their tubs anyway, and I knew that I probably wanted to go ahead and upgrade her tub at the time. Fresh shed, went ahead and put it in here, and so her scent is now in this tub. It's in the hide, on top of the hide. And so hopefully that's going to help her feel a little bit more comfortable when we put her in here. These two things are obviously new. So in cleaning these, basically this I clean just like I do the hides. They say don't use detergents or soap, so just nice hot water, scrubbed it down, spritzed it down with F10 solution, just like I would the hide. And so that's what we got going there. Now this grapevine, this is, I believe, the one from ZooMed. They actually do a heat treat to this, from what they say. So they do a heat treat, sandblast type of deal. But what I did, I brought it home. I saw some things on YouTube. I boiled it, spritzed it down with F10, and then put it in the oven as hot as it would go, to let it kind of dry out, and then let it just kind of air dry. So I think that's going to be a cool little piece that hopefully she's going to like as we kind of get going. So overall, this is what the setup is going to look like. Now, two things here. When they talk about upgrading your snakes, or upgrading the tub, I guess, for your snakes, they say you should upgrade when the length of the snake is longer than 2 of the lengths of the tub that they're in. So for nice round numbers, 22.5 by currently 7.5. So if you do the math on that, 29 inches, right? Or 30 inches, I guess I should say. So she is not 30 inches long, but she is a good probably 25 to 26 inches, okay? So I think it's okay to go ahead and put her in this tub. And so we're going to try it. Obviously, the test will then be if she eats on Saturday. And so she'll have a full 3 days in this tub. So what we'll do now is we're going to take this, we're going to actually put it in the enclosure and just kind of get a nice, almost homeostasis, if you will. Let it sit for a few hours, and then we'll introduce Cutie. So when we do that, we'll bring you back. We'll kind of see how she fares out, and we'll talk to you then. Okay, guys, so it's been about 4 hours now. We're actually pretty close to 9 o'clock. This is actually the time that we would typically feed them. And so what we are going to do now is take a look at Cutie, see about putting her in her new tub. We've given it a few hours just to kind of settle a little bit, so everything in there should be as it needs to be. So first, let's take a look, though. Take a look at Bubbles. Obviously, we cleaned her out today. Got her a nice new, some nice new bedding and everything. One of the things I wanted to point out, though, it was kind of something I wasn't thinking about when I got these first water dishes, but we went to this type of a water dish, one with a little bit more high sides there. The problems that we were having with these other water dishes that we had, I mean, they work just fine, obviously, but they've got these, let's see if you can kind of see it here. It's kind of angled up towards the side, so when she kind of wrapped around and pushed up, she was capturing bedding and just basically dumping it in the water dish, and we were having to change it out quite a bit. Cutie did that a little bit too, but definitely not as much as Bubbles. Bubbles gets very active and kind of hangs out here at the front. She's in her hide now, hanging out, but she'll probably get out here pretty quick here in the next hour or so. But just keep in mind when you're selecting water dishes, you know, something more with this high side. We've had this in here maybe a couple nights now. She hadn't been able to get any substrate in there since we've had it in there. So, all right, let's see. So one of the things, guys, also that I want to do here, so the tub that we have set up is this tub right here. That's the tub that we're actually going to put Cutie into, right? It's got everything in it. I'm going to actually put this tub here where she's currently at. So she's currently in this tub, so that the heat tape and everything is basically the exact same to what she's used to. So we'll pull her tub out here. Let's see where she's doing. Oh, she's out. Ah, someone's ready to eat. Okay. You're all right, sweet girl. Okay, so we're going to set that there. We're just going to move this up one here. Okay. Now, make sure we can kind of, yep, we can see that pretty good. So, let's just make sure we're not going to get bit. Alright, there we go. Alright, sweet girl. Let's take a look at our... So, here she is. She actually just shed yesterday. So, nice new Beautiful skin there, or scales I should say. Don't really have skin. But man, she just, every time she sheds, then the oranges right here, right along here, right in here, just get really, really bright. I don't know if the camera does it justice, but she has grown quite a bit. You can see she's getting to be a pretty thick girl. Looking really good. So let's see how or what she thinks of her new place here. So my guess would be she heads for a dark spot. She's pretty tentative here. Let's see what she does. So normally, guys, she'll head straight in, just kind of hang out, but she's checking things out. Now again, remember we had put her shed in here last night, so it's got some of her scent, but all of this is brand new. One thing I do want to point out, guys, this was really just for my own purposes here. If you watch the video about our racks, so I put 2 lines here and here. So basically, that's to mark where our heat tape is. So the heat tape is 5 inches from the back, and then the heat tape itself is 3 inches. So this first mark is 5 inches from the back. That's 3 inches from there. So I know exactly where our heat tape lines up. Really just something to kind of give me an idea. So that's it, guys. We've got her all set up in her new bin here. Let's just push it back a little bit. Give her a little bit more dark back there.
I think she likes it. I think she's just exploring now.
Yep. So she'll probably be pretty tentative for a little bit. I would imagine. But she's kind of checking it out.
She's sniffing around.
I don't know if you can see that, guys. You probably can't from that far away, but she's got those nice long tongue flicks. So very inquisitive right now, just kind of trying to get an idea of what's going on, and this is very, very new for her, right? And so if it come Saturday, if she actually doesn't wind up eating, one of 2 things will happen. So either we add a little bit more clutter or something like that, or she's not quite ready to be in something this big, and we have to look at going back to maybe the smaller tub. I don't know that that'll be the case. This girl has eaten every single time, no matter what. She's done an excellent job for us as far as that goes. One of the things I have noticed, at least so far, the humidity in these bigger tubs, it stays much lower than the humidity in the smaller tubs. We typically will have quite a bit of condensation buildup up here where the water bowl is, and I don't typically have to add too much water to those smaller tubs on the substrate or anywhere else for that matter, for the humidity to be as high as it needs to be, and sometimes even higher. So the bigger tubs, however, I put this monitor back in here just to kind of give me a gauge as we figure out, both Cutie and us, as we kind of figure out what her life in this little bit bigger tub will be. Now, in a tub like this, so she's in the neighborhood right now of 250 grams. We haven't actually weighed her. That'll actually be here in the next week or two when we do our next update video. This tub, I would think, could easily hold her to about 1,500 grams or so. But again, I'm not going to, as long as it's okay with Cutie and she continues to eat and thrive, I'm actually probably going to err on the side of moving her up a tub a little sooner than what you might normally do it, just so we can continue to have some of these things in here for her to crawl around on and interact with. I think that's important, even though these animals are very sedentary and kind of hang out in burrows, underground, termite mounds, things of that nature, waiting on prey. It doesn't mean they don't explore a little bit. It doesn't mean they don't climb on things, and it doesn't mean that that's all they ever do. And so I really want to do this to give some sort of enrichment, even while they're in their tub, and we'll look for different things that we can actually do outside the tub as well. We've got a video coming up on some ideas that I have on that. But this is the basic setup, guys. We'll we'll kind of see how this goes. It looks like she's really,
I think she really likes that log.
yeah, she's really, you know, moving very, very slowly. Really, really checking things out. She's about to come out the other side of that log there. You can see her little head coming out there. So just really kind of checking things out. So again, I think she'll be very apprehensive until she settles into this and kind of understands that this is her new home and there's really nothing to be afraid of. So, guys, I think that will do it for this video. All right, guys, so that's it. We got Cutie put in her new tub. She's actually at this point now been in there for about a week or so. She ate the first feeding that we gave her. Ate really well, actually. Had no hesitation at all. So I think she's going to do really, really well in there. So, Carly, what's our fun fact for today?
Today, our fun fact is about humidity. It's
Okay.
good to have a spare spray bottle full of water, just in case the humidity in their enclosure or tub is a little low.
Yep.
You can just take that spray bottle and spray a little bit of water, and
Absolutely.
it should raise the humidity.
That's right. Absolutely. That's the best way to raise humidity. Just keep something handy. Makes it nice and easy as you're going through, maybe cleaning tubs, and you just notice that maybe the humidity's not quite where it needs to be. Especially when our girls are going into shed, we make sure just to add a little extra humidity than even what's normal in there, don't we? So what do we need them to do, Carly?
Like, subscribe, and hit the bell.
Hit the bell so you know when we have new content. So guys, we hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas. We hope you're safe as you head into the New Year holiday, and we will see you next time. Bye.